Alright, let's look at this question. So for this question, it's a math question regarding ratio. So Adrian Tan asked this. So it says 14 people can paint 35 identical plates in 2 hours. At this rate, what will be needed to paint 60 of the same plates in 2.5 hours? So I believe there are people, plates, and time. So these are the three components. So it seems like this is a very interesting question. So instead of having two components to compare as a ratio, we have three different components to compare as a ratio. So let's just write it down for easy understanding. So we have people, we have plates, and we have time. People, plates, and time. So in this case, let's just say it will be 14 people with 35 plates and 2 hours. So this will be the ratio. So let's just say, and the question asks what is the rate that is needed when we paint 60 of the same plates in 2.5 hours. Okay, so this is pretty much the question. Okay, so the way to do it is to try to bring it down to something that we could compare directly, knowing one unit of this and one unit of the other component will bring certain amount of figure. So in this case, we have plate, people, and time. So let's just say I want to try to bring the people down to one person and see how much time it would take for one person to make the plates. So this second piece of information, this is the question. So it's up, it's depending on us to find out. So this is the question. So this is X. We need to find out what's the X. So in this case, we're going to use the original information, the 14, 35, and 2. So let's just say I bring down the people to 1. So we got to find out what's the relationship between people and time, right? So we understand that if we have 14 people, the time taken is 2 hours. How if we have only one people? So how much time would it take? So I believe in this case, it would be, 14x, the entire time, right? That was taken by 14 people. So very simple. We just have to know that the relationship is inversely proportionate. So if you bring it down to 1 people, we got to times it by 14 over here. So this will be 28 hours needed to make 35 plates. So the plate we haven't changed, but we try to make it like, one of them constant and the other one we look into the relationship. So it's a little bit of a directly and indirect, proportional question as well. And then let's look at it. We have 1, 35, and 28. How if we bring down 35 to 1? So let's just say, right now we know that 1 people takes about 28 hours to make 35 plates. So if we were to bring it down to 1, so we just have to divide, to see how much time for 1 person to make 1 plate. So basically just take 28 divided by 35, okay? Just to find this. Okay, now we have 1 people, 1 plate. It takes about 0.08 hour. 0.8 hour, my bad. So 0.8 hour. So this 0.8 hour is what is needed to make 1 plate and by 1 person. So in this case, let's find out how if we want to make 60 plates. Okay, how if we want to make 60 plates? So if you want to make 60 plates, I believe you got to multiply the time by 60. So 60 times 0.8 should be 8 times 6, 48. Okay, 48. So that's still based on 1 person. Okay, but right now I know that we have already fixed the time, which is at 48 hours to make 60 plates by one people. But right now we only have 2.5 hours to make 60 plates. So how do we do the ratio? Very simple. The idea is we got to find the multiple. Okay, so this one, 48 hours. We want to see what is the multiple in this 48 hours based on 2.5 hours to see how much. We know that the total time spent to make 60 plates is basically 48 hours. So how do we find 22.5 hours 60 plates? So we take 48 hours divided by 2.5. So what do we get? We get a 19.2. So this is a 19.2 constant. The constant is 19.2. Okay, 19.2. Meaning it takes about 19.2 people in 2.5 hours to make 60 plates. So that's the answer. So according to the ratio, this will be the answer. So to be precise, we can't possibly have 19.2 people, so that will round up to 20. Okay, I mean we could round down as well because it has to be more than 19. So the best way to do is to round it up to 20. So that's the answer for this question. It's a good question based on the ratio.